Stand on any street corner in London today, and within minutes, you'll hear a dozen different languages. Nearly 40% of Londoners were born outside the UK, making this one of the most diverse cities on Earth. But rewind the clock 2,000 years, and you wouldn't find a global metropolis. You'd see marshland along a tidal river, sparsely inhabited and strategically insignificant, except to one rising power, the Romans. So how did this happen? Invasion, fire, plague, revolution. A small trading post that became the heart of an empire, a city burned to ash and rebuilt from stone. Through conquest and catastrophe, London kept growing, adapting and drawing people from everywhere. For centuries, we could only imagine what earlier versions of London looked like: artists' sketches, faded engravings, scattered journal descriptions. But now, using AI trained on historical imagery, we can bring those visions to life. Cobblestone streets, crowded markets, smoke rising from medieval chimneys. You're about to witness nearly 2,000 years of history in a single journey. Sit back and relax as we explore the incredible story of the capital of the United Kingdom, London. Let's go back to where it all began. Roman London, Londinium, 43 AD. The year is 43 AD. 4 Roman legions land on the Kent coast and push inland. They need a place to cross the River Thames, somewhere narrow enough to build a bridge and establish supply lines back to the continent. They find it here. Within a decade, Londinium is booming. Merchants from Gaul, soldiers from Syria, traders from North Africa. The Romans build a bridge exactly where London Bridge stands today, and around it, a port town rises almost overnight. But just 17 years later, disaster strikes. Queen Boudica of the Iceni tribe leads a rebellion against Roman rule. Her army marches on Londinium and burns it to the ground. Archaeologists still find a layer of red ash beneath modern London, silent proof of that destruction. The Romans return and rebuild, bigger than before. They construct massive defensive walls, parts of which still stand today. At its height, Londinium is home to around 60,000 people, the largest city in Roman Britain, complete with forums, bathhouses, and amphitheaters. This is no frontier outpost. It's a true Roman city. Collapse and abandonment, 410 AD. By the early 5th century, the Roman Empire is crumbling. Britain is expensive to defend, too far from Rome's core. Emperor Honorius sends word, Britain must fend for itself. The legions leave. Without Rome, Londinium collapses. Trade networks vanish, currency becomes worthless. Merchants, officials, and craftsmen abandon the city. Within a generation, tens of thousands dwindled to a few hundred squatters living among ruins. For 2 centuries, buildings decay, roofs collapse, weeds push through mosaic floors. But the Thames keeps flowing, and rivers always attract new people. Saxons, Vikings, and Alfred the Great. The Saxons who settle Britain dislike cities. They avoid the Roman ruins, calling them cursed, works of giants beyond human ability. Instead, they build a new settlement a mile west around the 670s, Londonwick, a trading town located where Covent Garden and the Strand stand today. By the 700s, trade flourishes. Amber from the Baltic, wine from the Rhineland, goods from across Europe. At its peak, Londonwick holds around 8,000 people. Then the Vikings arrive. Repeated raids culminate in total destruction. In 886, King Alfred the Great retakes London and makes a strategic decision: abandon Londonwick and move the population back inside the old Roman walls. London becomes a fortress again, Londonburg. Norman conquest and medieval power. In 1066, William of Normandy conquers England. He mistrusts London's people, so he builds fortresses, most famously the Tower of London. Medieval London grows wealthy and powerful. Merchant guilds dominate trade. London Bridge becomes a city in itself, packed with shops and houses. In 1348, the Black Death arrives. Within 2 years, up to half the population is dead. Mass graves fill fields outside the city walls. London survives, but it is forever changed. Fire, empire, and rebirth. By the 1600s, London explodes in size, becoming Europe's largest city. Trade, theater, and empire fuel its rise. Then catastrophe strikes again. In 1665, plague kills nearly 100,000 people. In 1666, the Great Fire destroys 85% of the city. London rebuilds, this time in brick and stone. St. Paul's Cathedral rises anew, its dome becoming an enduring symbol of resilience. Industrial giant to global capital. The 18th and 19th centuries turned London into the capital of a global empire. Railways, sewers, bridges, and the world's first underground system transformed the city. But inequality grows. Slums, disease, and crime plague the poor, while wealth pours into the West End. The 20th century brings war. The Blitz devastates London, yet St. Paul's stands defiant amid the flames. Once again, the city rebuilds. Modern London. After the war, immigration reshapes the city. People arrive from the Caribbean, South Asia, Africa, and beyond. London becomes one of the most multicultural cities in human history. Today, over 300 languages are spoken here. Ancient streets coexist with glass skyscrapers. Tradition and change collide daily. London has survived invasion, plague, fire, and war. Each time it adopts, each time it grows, each time it pulls people in. That's what makes London, London.